what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, I was wrong about 7-foot bigs in NBA 2K25. So, in a video a couple days ago, I did the top 3 center builds, which actually was more like the top 5, and I didn't have any 7-footers involved in the video. And to be completely transparent with you guys, I was oblivious to how good 7-footers actually were in this game. I tried to mask that a little bit. I tried to put some makeup on it. I tried to act like I did have some understanding of how they have more attribute points than every other build in the game, pretty much when it comes to the big man heights and stuff like that. And I disregarded that. I didn't know it, and I tried to act like I did. So I apologize to all the people in the comments who were trying to educate me on something that I didn't know about, and I appreciate you even doing so, because it woke me up to how good they actually are. So much to the point where I created my own. So let's go ahead and I'll run these clips back once we're done with this. I want to break it down just a tad bit and talk about all the things that this brings to the table offensively and defensively for that matter. But this is just in one little rec session where I was playing with Haunt at point guard. You can see like between the rebounding ability, the lob catching. Also, I had to leave this clip in here because this is insane. Look at this dude right here. Falls down, cancels it with a jump Annie. But either way, you can see good rebound, good pass out on that as well. I'm out here playing as a popper for that matter. You can see like with all those extra attribute points I have left over, we got driving dunk, standing dunk, 3-point, mid-range, pass act, defense everywhere. I mean, it's actually pretty ridiculous. Standing dunks like that off like a driving that technically, but rise up is triggering off it. We got the crazy passing lanes with 60 steal for that matter too. I mean, overall, just a ridiculous build that we ended up making. And again, I do want to come back to this whole me apologizing one more time to everybody who was, trying to put me on game with it. I wasn't aware of this, and I'd like to think I'm pretty tapped in when it comes to a lot of the build stuff, but this 7-foot stuff, I don't know why I didn't know anything about it. I guess, obviously, as you guys know, I've played as undersized big for the majority of this year, for sure, and I guess I just wasn't aware of how good 7-footers were. Now, my counterpoint to it was that you lose out on a lot of things like, shifty shooter, lightning launch, challenger, stuff like that, which you do 100%, or even strong handle for that matter. All those badges you miss out on for being 7 foot instead of 6'11". But a lot of the stuff that you can do because of being able to afford multiple ratings, like this, we're taking them off the dribble. I have the 60 speed of ball on a 7-footer because we went a low enough weight to be able to afford that. So we're taking them off the dribble, getting the driving dunks. We're spotting up on the hash in a 5-out right here, shooting from deep. As you can see, first 3 of the game right there with the silver set shot popping up. Right here, we're hitting the fake rolls of like, I have a lob threat right here, and we can do the little dex pops to the top right here. We got lethals on the top and the left hash. I mean, man, like, everything combined, also being able to just like, let's say, hit these just random pops over to the hash right here. He's trying to lane me up top and boom, we're just moving around. Super elite offensive option between all the options that we have as far as like pick and rolling, pick and popping, taking them off a dribble right here. We have, as you can see, only Hall of Fame rebound chaser popping up, but I am max +1ing that after, that clip ended right there. So you could see in some of these clips I'm using the gold set shot specialist. It was because I was grinding my shooting badges initially and just my hot zones and stuff in my career, so I wasn't really under the impression that I kind of forgot to switch it over to legend rebound chaser. But I switched over to legend in the beginning clips of this little cut up right here. But anyway, besides that, I just want to show one last thing of the alley-oops right here. So this is a very big threat that I had on all the previous builds, and I wasn't really so sure that the tall bigs would compensate for something like this. But as you can see, yeah, it's only silver brick wall, but we can get the nice little body on the guard right there, the big step into Haunt, and then Haunt throws a lob over top. Those are really important plays to be able to do as a big man, in my opinion, in this year's game, and that we're doing as well. And as you can see, the standing, the driving dunk, all that stuff. So again, one last apology to everybody who I really made look stupid, and y'all made me look stupid too, and I understand it because I truly deserve to, for that matter. So I just wanted to apologize, be very transparent about that. Now let's go ahead and show the builder real quick. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm pairing with NBA 2K Labs again this year. So you can use my code Laker at checkout for 20% off of any subscription link that you decide to go for. Obviously, what you're going to find on here is going to be really useful information that we're showing all across the whole screen right now, but mainly to be talked about is obviously the jump shot data. So the guys are cool enough to let me show you the information from the 2K24 premium jumper data. If you want the access to the 25 year, you'd obviously have to subscribe to their premium and, using my code as well if you would like. But as you can see, we have them sorted by speed right here. You can sort by every one of these different individual categories right here between the fastest millisecond jump shots. You can sort that by your individual height between the guards, wings, and bigs. You can sort by speed, green window, the early, middle, and late end of the green window as well, and then the total accumulation of all of that. And I mean, that's how I came to the conclusion that Terrence Mann was a really good base last year, combining all that information. Crazy stuff. So again, to be able to find something like this in 25, you would be able to just sign up for the premium. So what you're going to do when you're ready to sign up, you would just come over here and click register with whatever length of subscription you'd like to go for. After you hit register, it'll ask you to put in a promo code. You just put in Laker when you hit apply coupon right here, and boom, you're looking good. With code Laker, you're gonna get 20% off your subscription. If you guys would like to help me out, I get a percentage based off your initial purchase only. So a recurring bill, like if you get a 1 month subscription, I only get the 1 month that you sign up for initially, and then anything past that, I don't. So if you do plan to go for like a 3 or a 6 or even a year-long subscription, feel free to just, do that if you want to support me. But I understand not everybody wants to go for that, so it's all good if you don't. Anyway, appreciate you guys for watching. Let's get back to the video. Alright, so while we're here, this is me already in the park as I'm like recording this, so I just figured I'd show you guys the upgraded version of the build. So we have 89 driving, 90 standing, 80 driving layup as well for the layup packages that you get with the bigs, aka you can get things like Vucevic, Giannis, Jokic, all types of stuff like that. I'm currently running Vooch, I think, for the, oh wait, no, I'm running Sabonis because it's really good for the Euros and the floaters are still decent. The hop dunks are really good. So all those things included, I'd like to think it's a pretty good layup package. We have 78 mid-range, and that was to get the silver set shot specialist, as well as I just want to be able to hit middies as well. And then 76 three-pointer, 85 free throw, 89 pass act. The 60 ball handle is actually very important for that matter with the way that we're wanting to move on this in the long term, and I'll explain that later in the video. 62 speed with ball, you need 60 to get Zion, the extra 2 was just very cheap. And then we have 82 interior and 84 block. I know a lot of you are going to see I have 80 vert. You may question why I didn't go for the 88 block for the gold high flying denier. I believe in interior D, very much so, to the point where I wanted to at least put it to a threshold that it gets the silver post lockdown, as well as I get like off ball pest buffed as well. 65 prim for that bronze movable enforcer, and just in general higher prim D. 60 steal rating is getting the job done. The rebounding, while 78 doesn't look great, it's getting the job done, and I'm not really intending to be the top tier defensive rebounder on the team. Offense is what we're looking for, and 96 is going to allow us to get that +1 on the legend rebound chaser because it get Hall of Fame off 96. The strength is only high enough to get the gold box out beast, but it's everything we intended to get with the build. I want to be still fast for sure. I don't want to be, a slug or anything like that. As much as it would take the strength to get to like 91 to get the gold brick wall naturally, it's not something I'm looking forward to doing. So I want to still be able to move pretty well in the build. So you can see this is everything we're working with as far as this stuff goes. For the takeovers, I'm still a little bit lost. If you have some suggestions, feel free to. I think it was going to be between the Dr. Duncanstein, or Stein, whatever you want to call it, Glass Gunner, and then I think Break Igniter was also something I was considering because of it buffing the pass act as well. But other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to pick from. You can see there's not a whole lot out here because of, missing out on some agility ratings, some speed ratings, stuff like that. Like obviously Slice is the one I was running before that gave speed, agility, and driving dunk, which is really clean for the build. But for this one, it might be something different. So you can see I'm running Glass Gunner right now, 3-point buff and the rebounding and stuff like that. Dr. Duncanstein is going to be really interesting. Stein, again, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. But either way, driving dunk, standing dunk, and vert all getting a buff could be pretty fire. I mean, this is putting all the dunk rating to the 96, 97 threshold with high vert as well. Be really interesting. And then Break Igniter, like I said, pass act getting buffed all the way to 97, O board, D board, all getting buffed. Obviously, my O board is already pretty high, so it's a little bit tough to argue for it. But and then if you were wondering about body styles and stuff like that, this is ripped right here. I think it's either that or I get flexible or something like that, which I'm going for the ripped instead. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the builder and actually show you the in-game version of me looking at it. Alright, so here we are in the builder. Now, I very easily could have made this build with a max wingspan and only had like, 74 three-pointer or something like that, and then it would allow us to maybe, compensate somewhere else on the build because, as you can see, we're then lacking, 2 more three-pointer, and with that 2 three-pointer, you could put it somewhere else on the build. But what I wanted to do instead was to go 1 wingspan down to get 76 three-pointer, which more so was for 75 three-pointer, and that allows you, as we're going to go ahead and show with the takeovers and stuff like that, you're going to be missing out on a lot of takeovers for not having that 75 three-pointer. So like Glass Gunner, and I actually shouldn't say a lot of, but the most important takeover when it comes to shooting for bigs, in my opinion, is Glass Gunner. That's 75 3, and you need it, in my opinion. Like, this is a really good take. You combine the 3-point, the O board, the D board, and just the ability to have the marksman take over. That's really fire. I don't believe there's anything else that's correlated with it. Actually, okay, no, I lied. We got SWAT specialist and splash tower. These are interior defense and block based, which I don't think are really as good when you put it in comparison to the Glass Gunner. But either way, 75 three-pointer, well worth achieving, in my opinion. So instead, we go 1 wingspan down. I think that's plenty worth, in my opinion. And now you might be wondering, how do I recreate this if I were trying to make the build myself, yet I don't plan to get cap breakers anytime soon at all? Well, I would personally suggest I went with Halliburton pass style just as a preference. It's definitely still good, but none is okay and acceptable, and that would allow you to get the O board to 92, which would then get you the goal rebound chaser. I think it's absolutely the change that you would want to make, and then at that point, everything else is acceptable. You could eventually just put +4 on your offensive rebound instead of +5, and find one more place to put an extra rating, or if you wanted to maybe shave down on some attributes, like let's say, for instance, you could settle with 88 pass ac for now, then eventually do a +1 pass ac and +4 offensive rebound, and that's how you would make it still playable in the early phases of the build where you have that 92 offensive rebound instead of 91 like how I created it, and to have it built the exact same way. So just wanted to give you a nice little workaround. If you wanted to drop the ball handle by 3, you can. It's how you can penny pinch in a couple different areas. But me personally, I've learned how to do the big explosive behind the back when I was on a guard. So this is getting into some rambling and stuff, but you essentially want to flick to the ball hand with a hezi and then do it twice to the offhand, and you'll get a standstill behind the back that's explosive like 2K20, and it's really good for slashing style. And all types of other things can be applied to this. I think triple threat movements also are a little bit hinged off of ball handle. At least that's how it was in previous years, and it was always a 60 threshold, and that's how it is this year as well. Same with like certain spin back animations and stuff like that. Just in general, 60 is a good threshold to be at in terms of not for the SIGs, but like for animations. I know it's hard to understand when I say it like that, but it's not the signature styles that you're actually unlocking. It's just the ability to do certain moves like that just blend into just how anybody could do with your build. Doesn't matter what animations you're running or not. So anyway, the 89 driving dunk is for the pro contacts off 1, the pro contacts off 2, as well as I can see Aerial Wizard on Hall of Fame. The 80 vertical is also for Aerial Wizard on Hall of Fame. You could go 78 if you would like, but I just wanted that Aerial Wizard. I am a big believer in contact lobs and lobs in general, and that's what you're going to find me on. So besides that, 83 strength for, as you can see, gold box out beast and silver brick wall. Yes, I know it's a little bit of a downer that we only get gold box out beast, even though we're going to go 96 offensive rebound. You could, if you had a higher strength, as you can see, 89 for that matter, get Hall of Fame box out beast. But I did not want to go that low on speed, agility, you know, Prim D, stuff like that. Or the biggest deterrent for that, in my opinion, was the fact that I wouldn't be able to get 62 speed with ball. So if we go high enough on the weight, as you can see, to get that type of strength, we're going to be lacking the speed with ball. And yes, I understand, maybe for box out beast, not so much. But for the gold brick wall, yes, it is unfortunately going to miss out on that 60 speed with ball threshold that I'm trying to hit. So not a big fan. Just in general, like I said, the speed loss, the agility loss, you actually don't lose any prim for that matter. Or at least not any that matters, because I was just going to go 65 anyway. But yeah, overall, I'm very satisfied with how the build looks. And again, I do want to shout y'all out one more time. I would have never came across a build like this, at least, you know, not in the short term, if it weren't for you guys in the comments, but as well if it weren't for me posting that video. And unfortunately, I'm lacking, you know, a build like this in the vid, so I do apologize for that. I know it like hits my credibility a little bit, but I hope me being at least, you know, humble enough, or, you know, having the humility enough to just admit that I was wrong about something is at least something that you guys can appreciate a little bit. I don't have that much of an ego. I know it seems like I do sometimes, but I promise I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and in this case, I was 100% wrong, and I apologize for that. So I hope y'all can forgive me in that regard, and that we can just move along with this and, you know, be happy with the fact that I have a build like this now. But I will still be 100% sticking to the 6'8" for sure, but this is a build that piques my interest when it comes to 5s a little bit, for sure, because the 6'8" can be very difficult in terms of when teams are sitting in drop and they're really forcing my guards to be elite, and it takes a little bit of pressure off my guard if I can be a good popper, or when like two-way tenacity pops up, if I'm able to be a good like shooting threat, even in comp games like that where I'm playing with elite teammates and stuff that really can shoot the ball way better than me, most likely. For me to have the two-way tenacity lit up is a very big deal in terms of buffing that shooting. So it could be something that we can catch teams off guard with. In general, being tall while also having that legend rebound chaser is going to be a big deal too. And overall, I think it just fits the scheme a little bit, gets more people involved potentially, lets them play lockdown roles. Whereas you guys saw me on the 6'8" probably, where I'm playing on-ball D, I'm playing as a pick and roller, I'm taking ISO sets. It's like I'm doing a lot of things, involvement, that make me look better, but it might be a harder time on my teammates as far as fitting into the style like that. So I'm down. I think, you know, being able to afford all these things on the build for sure is worth. Not to mention, y'all might be wondering why didn't I just put like, you know, a shooting rating on my 6'8". It's definitely cheaper on these builds. Look at this, bro. I mean, like, literally, we go from the difference of 40 3-pointer, 41 technically to be exact, all the way up to 76, and you're just able to get that in one attribute point. It's definitely not the case when it comes to, you know, playing on the 6.8s and stuff like that. So even with the mid-range involved, like let's go all the way down as far as we can go without anything but the free throw going down. So we'll just go all the way down to that point where, as you can see, then we're lacking the driving lane standing dunk. This is only like 4 attribute points. If you go over to a 6.8 and try and do something like this, like let's just go ahead and duplicate that over. As you can see, duplicate that over to the 6.8, it costs a lot more. I don't know why. That's just how it is with those like undersized big sort of rolls. And this also technically has more ball handle because the pass act would be like forced down. So long story short, it's hard to do the little 1-to-1 ratio of it and stuff like that. And also that the rebounding isn't exactly the same either. So take it with a grain of salt as far as that comparison for sure. But, you know, it was only off by a little bit, 91 board. But either way, point being, it's way cheaper to get shooting on 6'11s and 7-footers, and just in general, the footers have a lot of attribute points as far as potential for them. So, yeah, this is the build right here. I hope you all like it. I hope you enjoy. And again, I do apologize for my lack of understanding, my lack of comprehension, and just my ego to act like I did know what was going on. So, I apologize for that, but again, I appreciate y'all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. Like always, try to win 2,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video, put footer in the comments, George Perch Melee through, or you could put 7 foot, like as it's listed on the left right there. But anyway, appreciate y'all for watching. I'm sure you'll see more of this build in Pro-Am and stuff like that. But as far as park, the 6.8 is definitely my cup of tea for sure, even still. But I mean, this is a nice little option for me to be able to shoot with for sure, and be able to play dunking, standing dunking, dribbling a little bit even still. I mean, it's very capable for sure. But anyway, that's all. Hope you all enjoyed. And that, take it easy, man. Peace.